Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about all the books that I want to read throughout this year. I'm terrible at this, but I just really like to do TBRs basically. That's my thing. I just love to compile them. It's a problem, I know, but what can I say? So I have 24 books to read in 2024. The thing is, a lot of them are sequel series that I'm sure I'm going to read, and some of them are backlog books that I've had for a long time and I never find the place to read them. So now I'm going to print this list and just put it in front of my computer basically to remind myself every single day of this. And 24 might sound a little bit harsh. Well, not harsh, but a lot, but it's not. Achievable amount. So let's just get started. Again, another year and this book is here. So you see, I really want to read Tad Williams. I really want to, but for some reason, I just never get to it. I think it's because I really dislike my edition. I don't know. I just don't like the font. It feels like it's bold letter, and it feels weird, and it's gigantic, and I need to break the spine to read it. So I don't want to do that. But I've been trying to read Tad Williams for a long time. He's a very well-known author in fantasy, and everyone talks praise about him, basically. So I don't know why I don't do it, but I have to. I even tried to start another book by him, and then I was just like, wait, this series is his most well-known series. I need to start by this. And I didn't. And I've had this for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. And I feel like the audiobook does not sound great, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But I really want to read this. Just push me, please. Force me to read this. This is nothing new, but I'm going to continue reading Warhammer. And I'm just obsessed with this at this point. But in particular, I really want to read Souldrinkers, which basically is from the side of the Chaos Space Marines. Meaning that they are corrupted. I really need to do like a video on Warhammer, because it's very hard to explain, honestly, if you don't know anything about it. It's not like they're the bad guys, but everyone is bad here. So like, I really want to try and tickle my feet a little bit into the Chaos realm, since Night Lords was my like favorite omnibus that I've read so far. So yeah, but I'm continuing Warhammer for sure. Like I'm in that world now. Then this one is Empress of the Falls. This is the next, is it a trilogy or a quartet? This is the next quartet after the Moontide Quartet. This is the Sun Search. It's a continuation series, and the thing is, if you've been here a while, you know that I loved the Moontide Quartet until one book. Reading that book made me question my sanity, basically. It was not okay. But still, I loved the second book, Scarlet Ties, which is one of the best books that I've read, honestly. Which probably why it makes me so sad that book 3 is that bad. But still, book 2 was fantastic. So I really want to read the continuation series. The thing is, I haven't heard that many things about this, honestly. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it's Sun Search, since the Moontide is called Moontide because every 10 years, this moon bridge comes out of the water and basically connects these two continents. But we'll see. I love about this series that it's very political heavy, and we follow a bunch of characters. So every time that I feel like I really want to like a deep fantasy, I reach for this. But I'm scared also. Like, is it going to be okay, or is it going to be terrible? I do have to say though that I've read another David Hare book recently, The Burning Land, and I quite enjoyed that. So I have like middle ground hopes for this. Oh, another one that I have physically. This is the Book of the New Sun, and one of the books that is in here is The Shadow of the Torturer by Iain Wolfe. I have also never read Iain Wolfe. The thing is, I started reading English not that long ago. Well, it's been a couple of years, honestly. 4 years, maybe? 3 or 4 years at least. And the thing is, I miss a lot of the classics, basically. So every time that I saw this, it had glowing reviews, and I think sadly Iain Wolfe passed away quite recently, maybe a couple of years ago. So I'm just very excited to read this. Honestly, I have no idea what these books are about. I think they're like a blend of sci-fi and fantasy. I don't know. I just heard so many like great things about it that I really want to read it, especially this first one. So a self-published book that I really want to read is Titan Hoppers. This is a new book. Well, it came out last year. But a new book by Rob J. Hayes, which is one of my favorite self-pub authors and authors in general, basically. His stories always just like get straight to the point for me. I just love them. The world building is always amazing. And I don't know, I feel like I missed this one in a sense. I was very busy last year and I barely had time to just like pick new books. I basically read what I had here and I don't know. I miss this one. And I have it on Kindle, so I don't want to buy it physically yet until I know that I love it. Because even though I love Rob J. Hayes, I didn't have the best time with The Heresy Within. So I'm a little bit on the fence, even though I'm a huge fan of Never Die. That series is amazing. Amazing. But yeah, I really want to read this one. This is a sci-fi, not a fantasy. So I'm quite excited for that. Then The Last Horizon by Will Wight. I have so many of his series to read. Like I have this here as a placeholder, but I really want to read his other series basically. I think it was The House of Blades, maybe, but someone recommended it to me, saying that if I love The Cradle, basically, I was going to love this series too. So I'm excited. I do have to say, I haven't read the final book in The Cradle yet, because I'm not ready for that. I'm just like, I'm postponing it, and in my mind, I'm pretending that it's still ongoing. Is it really? No, but in here it is. So we're going to keep pretending that. But this is also a sci-fi, which I don't know. I don't know, because technically The Cradle is a science fantasy. And for some reason, I'm not very lucky with humorous sci-fi. Like, I much prefer, even though I don't prefer humor at all, but I much prefer humorous fantasy than humorous sci-fi. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I'm a little bit scared. I just hope that it's not just like too out there. Then one series that I started this year, this is the Echo Saga. The first one is The Rise of the Ranger, I believe. I read the first one and I was pleasantly surprised, honestly. Like, I've heard great things about it, but I wasn't expecting to actually enjoy it that much, since I'm not huge in just like, I don't know how to explain it, but for some reason I wasn't expecting much out of this book. I don't know why. I don't know why, but the type of a lonely ranger exploring this world and now I have to fight this. I don't usually like that. I don't usually like that. But I was pleasantly surprised by this one. The beginning and the end are fantastic. The middle dragged a little bit for my taste, but the ending was great and it had that high fantasy feel, you know? So I'm really excited to continue, honestly. And the audiobooks are amazing, by the way. Then another soft pub. This is A Season of Ravens. And the thing is, I had this book on my TBR for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years at least. And for some reason, it's giving me Dark Apprentice vibes right now. Is it because of the cover? I don't know. I don't know, but it's giving me that feeling. So in a way, I'm just like, every single time that I'm starting a new book, I'm just like going into my Kindle and just like, I can read this. So I don't know, I really want to read it this month. Well, not probably this month, but next month. It will probably be on my TBR. But I feel like this was a contestant on SPFBO a couple of years ago. And yeah, I don't know. It got my attention for some reason lately. Another one that I don't know much, but I've heard great things about. This is Burn Red Skies. Everyone who I know that has read this said incredible things about it. So I'm really curious. And for what I know, it has dragons. Might not be true. I actually think that I started this, or I did like try a chapter. And then I stopped reading for like 2 weeks. So I basically only listened to audiobooks. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. Like, it's different from the rest of the books that I read normally. Then I have a graphic novel. This is Ascender. And interesting. It's by Jeff Lemire, if I'm not mistaken. I might be. But I've seen this one around, not lately, but every time that I try to purchase some new graphic novels, this one comes around. So this is a sci-fi, and for some reason it's just like it has my attention and at the same time it doesn't. I don't know what it is, but mostly it has positive reviews, but for some reason I feel like it might not be my thing, but I'm still really curious to try and find out. Do you know? So I will be reading this one. I'll probably just get volume 1 and see, instead of getting like the omnibus. But I don't know why. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. Do you ever have like that type of feeling while you're waiting for a book? It's just like, maybe. I don't think I'll like it. I'm confused. So this is why I have this one here. Then another one, The City Inside. I had this book on my radar last year, and I completely missed it. Basically, as I told you before, I was in a very, very weird mood. I was very busy. I was just like very stuck at work, so I missed it completely. It is what it is. So I have this one on Kindle too, so I really want to give it a chance. This is, I feel like, science fiction, more steampunk than the other one, so I don't know. I just really want to give it a try since I was really into it last year. Then this one promises, basically. This is Wandering In, and since I really like lit RPG and Row and that type of read, you know, I've been recommended this so many times, like so many times. And the other day, because I already had this in my TBR, the other day I discovered that it has an audiobook. It has an audiobook, so I already got the audiobook. So I will be reading this one next month. I have no idea what this one is about. Everyone and their mother has been recommending this one to me, and I listen. I will be reading this one soon. This is Kill or Be Killed. I have this one on my TBR also for a good chunk of time, and it's apparently horror. It's a horror graphic novel, and the thing is, I have the same feeling for this one as I had with Die, which is a graphic novel that I read recently that plays with the die as a set of dice and the concept of dying, and I really liked it. But it's giving me the same feeling, so I don't know if it's just my mind that they are similar. But I don't know, this one is more like a sci-fi and the other one is a pure fantasy. If you like something like Dungeons and Dragons, you will like that one because it's about it's about a group of kids that is transported into like a Dungeons and Dragons world. Really cool, pretty dark also, but yeah, this one is giving me a similar vibe to that one. Not for sure because of its themes, but I don't know. I think it's maybe more because of the art and the cover, honestly. Then, The Midnight Kingdom. This is the sequel to The City of Dusk, which I read last year, and I read it 2 times. And I still cannot remember the thing about that book. It's just like a personal thing of mine that I'm so invested in that book, and every single time that I read it, my mind does not get any of the concepts in here. In fact, I'm reading currently All of Us Villains, and I feel like it's so similar to The City of Dusk that when I was reading it, I was just like, wait, did I read this instead of The City of Dusk? And that's why I'm losing my mind a little bit. But no, I read it 2 times. I had to say I wasn't in the greatest mindset, honestly, but I read it 2 times. And I cannot grasp anything about it. It's just like I want to read that book for a fucking 3rd time and then read the sequel. It's just like a promise to myself right now, like a challenge. I want to do it so badly. Then I'm feeling a little bad about this one, but this is A Day of Falling Night. This is a prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I actually really like The Priory of the Orange Tree. I feel like the ending was a little bit rushed, but the overall book was really cool and really solid and a really cool adult fantasy, honestly. Even though it has a lot of romance, I actually really enjoyed it. And the concept of the dragons was amazing. So yeah, I didn't read this one last year. And the cover is fantastic too. And it will match my edition so greatly. But yeah, I will be reading this one this month. Well, not this month, this year. This is another one that came out last year, and it was on my radar, and for some reason that I don't understand, I didn't read it. Even though I have the audiobook. I got the audiobook a couple of months ago because I was just like, yeah, this seems like right up on my alley. This is Godkiller. Why haven't I read this? What is mythology inspired? Like, I don't know, but I still haven't read it, and apparently it's really good. Everyone has said great things about it. Why haven't I? I don't know. In this next one, I'm cheating a little bit because it's two authors, basically. Peter F. Hamilton. Wait, let me grab a book by him. Peter F. Hamilton, which I read a couple of years ago, and I love his books. He keeps so... He basically is so detailed with his world, and I love world building. It's one of my favorite things in a book. Besides plot, world building and plot, those are my things. And I love his books because they are very heavy on the world building. And the thing is, some of his series are one of my favorite sci-fi series of all time. And for some reason, last year, I stopped reading him. Even though I still have like 2 or 3 more books by him on my shelves. But I just stopped. I need to continue reading this. It's a must, and I've been recommending this one a lot also. And the other author is Iain. Oh, still in the plastic, so it's a little bit reflective. But I don't think I've read anything by him, or have I? I think I have, like 1 or 2 books. And I've been really trying to get, again, into more classic sci-fi. But not too classic, you know? Not too classic. But I really want to read these staple like science fiction books because I have never read Consider Phlebas. Is that how you say so? I don't know. But I've heard great things about these first 2 books, and I was gifted this by my stepsister, so I'm really excited to actually read this one. But yeah, I'm cheating and I'm using 2 authors in this position, okay? Then I'm really sad that I didn't continue this, but I really want to continue reading The Winnowing Flame, which is, the first book is The Ninth Reign, and this is The Bitter Twins, which is 2nd book. And I really need to continue reading this, because I actually really liked the first book. I don't think it was mind-blowing or anything, but it was really solid and really good. And for some reason, I just never continue with the series. And I definitely should, because book 1 was great. It had a weird concept. For me, there were vampires, honestly. But it had like a really cool concept which related to blood. And I really liked it. But I do feel like I might need to read book 1 before reading this one. Because it was a cool and complex world, honestly. Then the last 2 that I don't have physically. The first one is The City of Chances. So you see, Adrian Tchaikovsky and I have a very complex relationship. I feel like I buy his sci-fi books constantly, and I don't like most of them. But I keep buying them. For me, Adrian Tchaikovsky is just like V. Schwab in the fact that I like their concepts a lot. But the execution for me is very lackluster. And for Adrian Tchaikovsky, I hate the humor that he puts into his works. I hate it deeply and with a passion. And I feel like every single one of his books, except Children of Time, has that weird humor that I fucking hate. So it's been alright. But the thing is, I thought City of Last Chances was a standalone. Was it myself, or was it actually a standalone first? I don't know. But this book has grabbed my attention again. I don't know why. Because this summary of it is not like incredibly cool. But when I saw that it was a sequel coming out, I was like, huh. Maybe. I do have to say that I really like the cover though. It might be because of the cover. It might be. And this last one that I don't have yet is Ordinary Monsters, which is weird. I also have a weird feeling about this book, but I've seen great reviews, and it surprised me a lot that it's actually translated. And the other day I saw it on a bookshop, and I was just like, what are you doing here? But this is a horror book, and I think it's a horror book set in the last century. I don't know. Was it though? I don't know. The cover gives me very like Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of read. So I don't know. I had this one, you know, I had this one set on my radar. I don't know why. And then lately, I've been thinking about reading this, Natural History of Dragons by a memoir of Lady Trent. Interesting, because I never felt inclined to read this, since it's very like more of a cozy fantasy, where this lady studies dragons. But for some reason, I saw it a couple of months ago, and it caught my eye. I was just like, you know what? Maybe I actually will enjoy this. And I got it. I got it used and it was super cheap. And I was just like, okay, it's my time to shine. I don't know why, but I'll probably block this since I'm just... Will I like it? Will I not? I think I will like it, right? Then, third to last, I have here The Wolf. I've been trying to read this for a long time. And the thing is, I got this based on one solely recommendation from a booktuber. And I was just like, you know what? It sounds kind of appealing. But at the same time, for some reason in my mind, this is historical fiction instead of fantasy. So I've been putting it off, but I know it's a fantasy about two tribes that are confronted. So I don't know, but I really want to read this one. I think that there's a sequel that is more of a companion, The Spider. I don't know if it's... I think it's not a direct sequel, but I might be wrong. This is going to be weird also, probably. Then I'm cheating a lot again with this one. I'm choosing this, which is Proyecto Karon. But the thing is, this is a placeholder also for reading more books in Spanish, basically. I have this one. I have El Arcano y el Giliero. I have another one. I made like a challenge for myself last year to read more sci-fi and fantasy. And I've really read a lot of... well, it wasn't a lot, but I read more sci-fi last year by Spanish authors, so I really want to continue that trend and do it more, by at least one book a month, and I'm sticking with that this year. I really liked doing that last year, and it was great. Many bad things. I discovered many bad books, but I also discovered a new favorite, so that's worth it. And then the last one is A Hero Born. I was gifted this 2 years or 3 years ago, I believe. And I've always wanted to read this, but I haven't. And I've heard so many mixed reviews from the people that I know here. Like, some of them loved it and some of them hated it. So I don't know what to do. I feel weird. I feel like this is also more leaning towards historical fiction than pure fantasy, but is that just me? I feel like I always say the same about this book, and that's why I never pick it up. Because I feel it's more like historical fiction or historical fantasy, and I do not like historical fantasy, like, at all. I hate it so much. It's very rare for me to like a book that is historical fantasy. But here it is. I really want this one to be fantasy, honestly. So yeah, those are all the books that I will be reading in 2024. Will I complete this list? I hope so. I really want it to be December and do a list talking about all these books. A wrap up. I hope so. Pray for me. Just wish me luck. But yeah, have you read any of this? Do you have a book that you're just like, yeah, it's a must that I have to read this year? Just let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!